showtime.
Good morning, Vietnam! Welcome to the party, pal!
See you at the party, Richter! I didn't kill my wife!
I don't care!
Get away from her, you bitch!
I'll be back.
I'll be back.
You did not going to say that, did you? What I do have are a very particular set of skills.
The dude abides.
I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
Inconceivable!
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
This is a tasty burger.
Please.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Do or do not. There is no try.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
I'm the bad guy?
And hold. Smash.
I can speak with an English accent.
Hit the hash pipe and join the National Guard. I could be elected president.
You went over my helmet?
What would you prefer? Yellow spandex? I know, right?
The list is in the open!
Hey, where are the white women at?
They're digging in the wrong place.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Are you not entertained?
Second start of the riot. And straight on till morning.
Meow.
You son of a bitch.
1.21 gigawatts!
Wax on. Wax off.
Oh my goodness, I am sporting a tremendous woody right now.
Bartender is the aristocrat of the working class.
You want to flip 6 3-hole play and you can score.
Cover me.
Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria!
On this team, we fight for that itch.
It might be a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
No ticket.
No ticket.
I get older, they stay the same age.
It's not what you know, it's what you can prove.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. He's 15.
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Hope is a good thing. Maybe the best of things. And no good thing ever dies.
Good evening, and welcome to the Reel McCoy. I'm your host, Meffistoe, and always with me, my hetero life mate, Omar Feelings. How are you, sir? Sir? Not back from the bathroom, sir? What is the Reel McCoy, you might ask? The Reel McCoy is your weekly movie podcast where we ask you to go watch a movie, you watch it, come back to us, and we break it down for you on the altar of film. No, that doesn't work either. You there? Feelings? Hello. He must be in the bathroom. He took his headset. He can hear every single word I'm saying, but he's not allowed to open up his portable microphone because it would be shit. Or something happened to the power in his house. Let's go to WhatsApp. I think you forgot that I think you forgot. Still don't have a clean intro for the year? No. No, I've no messages for Mr. Oh My Feelings, so I don't know.
I think there it is. There it is.
Okay. You must have forgot. The intro is slightly shorter.
No. I was actually working on the audio issue you were discussing because
now there is zero echo.
It's StreamYards. It keeps manually resetting my different microphones.
I told you.
That's what the problem is.
I told you.
So.
You know what happened to me? I was on another show on Pop Culture Minefield yesterday, sitting there just trying to derail the show, to be honest, because I haven't watched the movie they were discussing. It was Dead Men Wear No Plaid.
Yeah, good movie too.
I have seen it, but I've seen it a long time ago.
It's a fun movie.
I know. But I was sitting there trying to sabotage the show, and they knew it. Gary knew it.
Yeah.
But at one point, I was so bored, and all I wanted to do is do my 3 daily missions on Fortnite. So I activated it, and they said, "Well, what the hell is that?" It actually put the game sounds into my sound feed as if it was on the microphone. It was that good. I was caught, and then I left. I was so embarrassed, I just left. Plus, I was really tired. And I didn't actually finish the 3 dailies. You have no comment, so either you really have issues with me, or really have issues with
can't
sound.
just see me shaking my head in disappointment. That's
Oh, I can feel this. No. The disappointment is palpable.
It's palpable.
Yeah. Would it make a difference if I say it's the kids' Fortnite? No. Okay,
No, because
gotcha.
you're still playing it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm enjoying it. It's a great game to like turn off your brain from gaming and just fuck around. I really enjoy it. Like really, I shut off my brain. Okay. It's a great game to shut off your brain.
Just another thing, Paul, if he were to ever get the intro right, that's when we know, okay, it either end times are coming or basically it's already started. I mean, there doesn't need to be any kind of biblical text. The sign of the apocalypse is when we actually get a clean intro.
Oh, well, that I promise you, that will never happen. Anyways, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Reel McCoy. What is the Reel McCoy, you might ask? I said it already, but I don't care. Anyway, we'll say hello to people in the chat. Mr. Paul Harley, Mr. Monkey Jeebus. I don't know if you're a mister, but I'm guessing. And, of course, Juliet, which is kind of confirmed from, I don't know where exactly she's from, but she's on this side of the ocean, of the Atlantic. So good evening to you too. And all the other lurkers that are lurking about in different platforms all around. Hello, hello, hello. I've said it before and I'll say it numerous times. Lurkers are the backbone of any and every stream. And I would happy to just, sit there, relax, enjoy the show. What is the show? Well, it is January, and it is All My Feelings' birthday month, despite the personal issues he has with it. But we'll leave it at the door. What we are doing this particular month... Shut up. I'm not disclosing anything you've not said already numerous times. Anyway, this particular January was dedicated to films that we've talked about on the show forever and never got around to actually put them in a themed month that we do around here. So we just gathered them all up together and pushed them in this month. And one of these movies is actually Smokin Aces, where I think the origins of what happened with this movie, particularly with regards to this show, is you mentioned it off stream or on stream, I don't remember, and I told you I think I haven't seen it. And then you said, well, this is like a movie right up your alley, Meph. Why didn't you just go watch it? It's basically everything you like about like Guy Ritchie stuff. Plus it has Ryan Reynolds in it. And I said, interesting, because I think I've seen it, but I don't remember the name of it. Well, it's a big problem. I told you a lot of these movies I've seen, but I didn't know the actual like English name. I know only the translation because I happened to come across them on cable, blah, 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 not necessarily went to the theater. However, rewatched it a couple of years ago when you mentioned it, loved it, and it was like, okay, that's definitely coming back. And this is it, Smokin Aces, not by Guy Ritchie. However, to touch upon why is it not Guy Ritchie and what the hell is going on, we have a little segment called Behind the Screens.
Sound production, take 2.
I do get the transitions quite well these days, but let's continue. Behind the Screens is where we turn to All My Feelings and get the lowdown on everything behind the scenes, production stuff. Take it away, dude.
So the director, Joe Carnahan, and also writer, he's had a very prolific career. He's worked on some very, very big budget films. And one film that he actually quit working on to make this, well, to start writing it anyway, was Mission Impossible 3.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, he was currently working on the project, but he's like, no, they had a lot of squabbles with a certain Mr. Cruz.
Oh, yeah.
And
okay.
They did not get along so well, so he decided to exit. So he wanted to make a dark comedy in his kind of version of It's a Mad, Mad, Mad World.
Okay.
If you think about it, it does kind of line up.
I remember watching Mad World, but I never quite got into it. Maybe it's a little bit before my time, but that the humor there was not like me and the humor there we're not connecting. Maybe I need to rewatch it again, but yeah.
Sorry. So Lisa Chasen from Working Title actually met with Carnahan and got the film greenlit specifically because she liked the script, but also she loved Narc.
The movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
the movie that he made previous to this. And that's so funny because Narc brings in basically about half of the cast.
Yeah. Yeah, which is,
Narc brought in Ben Affleck, Ryan Reynolds, Peter Berg, obviously Ray Liotta.
Ray Liotta, because he was
in.
Yeah, he was in Narc.
And Jeremy Piven, because they all loved the movie.
Okay.
And they loved the movie so much that and also it was Nestor Carbonell who plays Ascata.
Mm-hmm.
And several other actors, obviously Peter Berg. It was all of the Tremors, all the brothers.
Chris Pine and the guy who's
Chris Pine,
in
Kevin
everything,
Durrell,
and I keep
Maurice
forgetting his
Sterling.
name.
Yeah, Kevin Durrell, the big guy. He was the
big guy. The big guy.
Yeah. So they did all their own stunts.
And they've went to like training experts, a la what Keanu Reeves did with John Wick.
Yep.
Same kind of experts, not the same one. Yeah.
Yep. So what was really interesting is that originally Chris Pine wasn't supposed to play Darwin.
Okay.
Michael Shannon was cast to play Darwin. But Michael Shannon apparently was such a fucking diva and an absolute asshole to one of the costume directors. He fired him.
Okay.
Chris Pine auditioned, and within 10 seconds of their audition, Chris Pine was cast. Well, this is very, very early in Chris Pine's career, and Ben Affleck is actually quoted as stating that if I was going to put money on anyone having a career after this movie, being being big, put money on him, on Chris Pine. To be fair, he had a really, really big boom in
like
late aughts, early 2010s. Yeah, he did pretty well for himself.
I mean, that's 3 years away from Star Trek.
Yep.
So yeah. Right.
That and multiple buddy cop, romantic comedy.
I know, but the big one, is J.J. Abrams.
Yeah. So speaking of that, Carnahan trusted Ryan Reynolds and Ray Liotta so much and enjoyed their chemistry that the entire first van scene, all improvised.
Nice. Now, I wanted to stop here because I knew this note would come up because it's one of my notes. That is the only point in the entire movie that we've got a Ryan Reynolds-esque in a Ryan Reynolds movie, but not really. He doesn't go all the way Ryan.
Correct, yeah.
And remember, we already saw Ryan Reynolds in a Ryan Reynolds movie in Blade Trinity. So that's the Ryan I mean.
If you notice that he still has the Hannibal and the Amityville Horror beard. Yeah.
That's why I mentioned Blade Trinity and not like Van Wilder.
And Amityville Horror actually comes up later on as a reference for the movie. Yeah. But we'll talk about that when we get to it.
Yep.
So speaking of Carnahan, he actually appears in the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
As who?
As at the very beginning where they have the bank heist that Buddy Israel sets up.
Oh, okay. He's one of the robbers.
One of the robbers with an AK-47. So
okay.
There are a lot more interspersed notes, but I really want to talk about the title sequence stuff.
Okay.
That's
go ahead.
Get at the end credits because there was so much work that was put into it. It's a little bit mind-boggling that they put so much effort into it. So how it was created is they actually had a photo still photographer on set with it's a Canon 5D still camera. They took over 3,000 stills during production.
Okay.
And if you notice during that, all of the stills, if you look at if you're watching the animation, they're actually playing layered over the animation in the background.
Yes, I have noticed.
Yeah. So they were given to a London-based company called Voodoo Dog, and they compiled it using After Effects. And the ink textures that you really get from a lot of the big like oversaturation within the animation was done really with that Canon 5D still. And what's most important is there were actually originally 2 different actual takes. So they actually had an opening sequence and an ending sequence. But Carnahan didn't like the idea because it really, if you watch the film, it would completely cut up the entire narrative if they were to have that smash cut into that big long intro.
Okay.
So he cut out the opening intro but kept the outro credits.
So we were supposed to get this kind of intro into, like, leading into the movie, but they just cut it away and
after the van scene, like leading into Buddy Israel. Yeah, it was supposed to be like right there.
That's funny because that'll make it even more of a Guy Ritchie opening, a la Snatch. More, I would say more like Snatch and Lock, Stock.
Lock, Stock, yeah.
Rather than the other ones, even though the other ones do have a sort of a great kind of opening. I think maybe The Gentleman didn't.
The Gentleman really didn't. No.
It didn't really have the Ritchie kind of opening, but this one certainly did a very smooth, kind of well edited. The entire movie, just on the fly, before we get into it, the entire movie is edited really, really smoothly.
It's the way that it punches. That's why when you said, like, I didn't think I've ever seen this before, I'm like, you watch it because it's basically just a Guy Ritchie film made by a different director. Because that's what it is. Because the punches with the introductions with all the characters, like, it's the first time I saw it, I'm like, are you sure this? Like, I kept trying to look it up. I'm like, are you sure this isn't a Guy Ritchie movie? Because it seems like a Guy Ritchie movie.
I honestly went to. I started watching the movie. I didn't watch it on the big TV. I actually watched it here in the command center. I watched it here. And I was watching it on one screen, and I was doing a little bit of like notation writing for the review. And I was like, wait a minute. I have to like stop this because I have to concentrate on actually watching and critiquing the movie. And going to the wiki page, and I was looking for, okay, maybe it's like inspired, maybe they got a field. I stopped the movie, went to the end credits. Nothing to do with Guy Ritchie.
Nothing
whatsoever. He didn't consult on the script. Nothing. It was all Joe Carnahan, which is amazing. And I have not found. Normally, I do find, like, you know, when they get interviews with directors and all that stuff. Never saw any interview that even talks about his inspirations. No. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I wanted to say, and I you'll get it. I'm sure the audience will as well. It's, even though it's 2006, it really reminded me of the way Edgar Wright did the Cornetto series, especially the first 2 movies, in terms of how it edits and cuts away and cuts back.
Yes.
Or someone like gets to say like the final sentence, but the last word transitions to a different scene. Transitions right into the next scene and the next sort of next location, different character, different anything. And that's really clever writing. And I thought that was, I've seen really this in 2 other places, and that's it.
Yeah, it's really clever. And what's really interesting too is the fact that the narrative in itself, it packs a lot into that very mixed cast of characters in a very, very small, what's like 147 minutes soup to nuts opening to end credits. But overall, I think it has over in total actual characters that are named characters. I think over 17 or 18 that we know of.
Yeah.
And they all have their own actual like individual side stories, and it's compact enough where the narrative still flows, where it doesn't seem like it's cluttered.
Yeah, and it's very I know we're kind of summarizing it, but to be fair to the audience, you have to realize most times we have like behind the screens where it's pretty prolonged and we have lots of information. Plus, I find things that Oh My Feelings doesn't find, which is not too many, but stuff that I can like interject and complete. Or if I do my own research, then I have extensive notes and I do watch some interviews from whatever I can find. There's almost no information that you can get from this movie other than a little bit here and there. No casting choices apart from the narc thing. No interesting things. Yeah. Unless you've got a few notes that you're holding back. I get it. We'll get to those scenes in a few. Like, where does
one thing that's a blink and miss it kind of thing that's really kind of interesting. Sorry to interject.
No, okay.
You know, that's again, it's a blink and miss it. It's where Laszlo Sloot is first introduced, where he gets on the back of that panel truck.
Yeah,
that it's Rockneys. That's the name of the director's son, and the other one is Marnie's Cafe. That's the name of his daughter.
That's where the Tremors get introduced, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
They have that, and there are some other really like funny side stories. What I might as well go and while you check your messages.
No. It's the Oh, come and join our podcast now. Yeah. I told you I'm doing a show.
But I was gonna say one bit that's really blink and you miss it is the Ben Affleck bit where he can't shoot pool. Like he's fucking terrible at shooting pool.
It's one of those things we'll get to that, I guess. Yeah. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've put on two of the main sort of introing characters. It's basically Ryan Reynolds as Messner and Ray Liotta as
Carruthers. It's
a fucking. If you're not a native speaking language guy, Carruthers is a very hard thing to translate to just speaking. I'm not even joking here. So that actually is the basis, that whole conversation, that whole start of the movie where we get to know who Buddy Israel is. We get his story. We get why the mob wants to kill him. I mean, God damn it. I told him not to do it.
That's fine.
We get the whole who is Buddy Israel? What is he going on? Why the FBI wants him? It's the big setup.
And we also have the underlings of Cerna and Pedice on the phone trying to set up the other hitman to go get Buddy first, because they don't know the actual true story, the big reveal at the end of who.
Yeah, but that comes after the Ben Affleck thing. So it starts with the FBI thing. So we get that vision. Now we kind of get the underline, like the real story behind why the FBI want Buddy Israel from Ben Affleck's character, the dog, the bounty hunter, the bail bondsman, basically. That he's recruiting his two buddies, these two ex-cops. And there's a shot where Ben Affleck says some line. No, he shoots a ball, hits it. I think it's the 8-ball, right?
Yes.
And then he has a few lines. Now you'll explain what was the note all about.
So Ben Affleck can't shoot pool for shit. So they had to do multiple takes of him doing that, and they had an over and post shot where he shows him just standing up as the cue ball hits the 8-ball going into the corner pocket. But no, he actually hit it on the last one, and then he just started laughing out loud because he actually finally made the shot.
He made the shot, and then he couldn't say his lines.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, fuck you, Ben. It's a take, dude.
Yeah. I think there was
yeah.
one of the other thing too, where Woody Harrelson on White Man Can't Jump, he made a 3-pointer from top of the key, and he's like, I'm never gonna make this shot, and he made it, and he was supposed to say his line. He's just like, he was looking back over at Snipes. He's like, what?
And of course, as soon as we get the sort of the lowdown on everything Buddy Israel, which is he was this character, he was this magician, he was trying to make it big, but he also wanted to be a little bit more.
Well, he was a wannabe, because that's what Jack calls him. He's just a wannabe, because all the mob bosses got him in because he was this great entertainer, and then he's like, well, now he wants to be just a little bit more, so he started doing a little bit of dirty work. And what wannabes do is they dig themselves an early grave really fast.
Really fast. Because they're going rogue when the mafia does not sanction to do certain things.
Well, the mafia was still kind of on, it still had his back, but it's like, you're going to get everyone caught. That's the more major issue.
Yeah. Especially because this is not like the 50s, 60s. This is supposed to be current day.
Well, this is not even 70s, like Casino, the Martin Scorsese Casino era, kind of Vegas, where
this is like the Disneyfied Vegas. Yeah. So it kind of flows into actually going back into the FBI side, where we need to know why, because they do explain how he's kind of fallen from grace and why the mafia wants him dead, because he just stepped over that line a few too many times. And even Primo Sparza, who is the main dude, who is the guy who is going to die soon, is like, okay, we're done. We're cutting him off. He's dead. And then he turns into a rat, basically. And now we get the sort of the completion of the FBI story with Deputy Locke.
Basically, what's great here is they have the actual setup and payoff about the story, not only about Sparazza, but how Sparazza was tied to Heller, which is kind of the big payoff at the very end of it. Which I thought that was just really great storytelling, the way that they were able to make it work and flow very easily, where it's like, no, Sparazza is infamous because he killed this FBI agent who basically got us all of this detail by he became a capo in one of the families and everything. And yeah, it's it's interesting. And I think that's really Carnahan did a great job in making the story flow and making obviously the blatantly obvious twist ending blatantly obvious, but not so in your face.
To be fair, as soon as they talked about how Heller had to do surgery and how Sparza is the one that killed him, I was like, even if I was watching this for the very first time, I would probably think this is way too obvious that he replaced him.
Yeah.
I thought it was way too obvious that I know we're jumping all the way to the end, but I thought, wow, this is really, you have to do a lot, especially if this is shown to, and I know for a fact that the audience has had an issue with this movie. It did all right. It made about triple the budget, which is, great. Okay.
Actually almost quadruple, because
almost quadruple. Okay.
Budget is like 57.3 gross. So
something like that.
Well enough.
No. Yeah. But, it also had a very sort of a prequel movie. I haven't seen that.
There was a prequel that came out several years later that actually has Beanie more in it. Beanie was the bigger black gentleman in the hooker penthouse.
The pimp-like bodyguard. No, I'm saying
we'll talk about. Hey, we did a damn thing.
My point was that most of the critique I couldn't find the actual critique, but it's not marked really high on IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes and all those little, but that doesn't mean anything. But I do know it does have a cult following. Even though the second movie didn't really succeed, I didn't understand why the theater crowd didn't like it that much.
Well,
and then I saw the movie again.
Yeah.
And I reminded myself why. We'll talk about it in a bit because it's coming right up.
Yeah.
But one of the things I thought it could have been was the fact that the Heller thing was really telegraphed. Couldn't find information about that. So it must have been just me that was like, maybe I'm a little bit too much, story savvy. I've seen this way too many times. It really didn't affect how much I like the movie.
Yeah.
Just because of, and you know me, I love dialogue and I love story that kind of is a little bit too much ravelly too much. I do love lots and lots of characters. And then you see like familiar faces doing these characters like Alicia Keys, this was her first movie.
Yeah.
And I like the way they're introducing. I'm trying to set up the movie, but this is not Alicia Keys. This is not Alicia Keys.
There's smash cuts in between all of the different sets of, you have Jack and the two ex-cops, you have Locke and Mesner and Carruthers, and you have the handler with Georgia and Charisse. And they're basically just telling the entire back narrative and introducing all of the other players that are going to be in the game.
Yeah, and that's how it kind of fits with the whole.
Hey, Sander, that's very misogynistic. I know Alicia Keys is hot, but
what? What misogyn? Shut up! No, shut up! Don't bring that shit over here. We're done with it. We're done. It's 2025. We're done with all that crap. It's out the door. Out. Get out. Anyway. Not that it was ever in this show, but never mind.
One last one in, and like, oh, side note, Trump is president for over 4 days and the world hasn't ended. We're good.
We're good. Leave that shit out the fucking door. This is not the show. It never was, actually.
No.
However, what I wanted to say is the fact that it goes sort of like you said, it goes to the bail bondsman, it's Ben Affleck's character, telling you about these different assassins, and then it goes back to Locke, giving you the top-down, kind of dry sort of thing, but they do touch upon the fact that there's a massive assassins on the case because there is a $1 million prize over Buddy Israel's head. And by the way, if you're named Buddy Israel, you better get the fuck out because you're not going to get anything from me.
Just as a fun aside, one thing that made me laugh literally out loud during the introduction of all the different players and everything was one of the characters in Jack Screws, Peter Berg's character. I was like, why all of a sudden do I want to watch I Love You Man again?
Oh, shut up. I know what you mean exactly. Yeah.
It's Pistol Pete.
Yeah, just Pete. All right. Cool. Let's do our first game of the night, shall we? It's been long enough. It is called Missing Marquee. Missing Marquee is where we take 10 posters, put them on screen. I fucked that up too. 10 posters of movies have their text written off. We display them, and you guys in the chat and Oh My Feelings will help you out and tell you which movie this is. Ba-bam. I do love the fact that there is an ultra low setting on YouTube that I've never used until like a few months ago.
Great.
Chat. What is this movie? I think he got an Oscar for it. Did he?
Yes.
He did. I do like this movie, even though it's pretty slow. And for all you fucking, nose grabbers, it's fine. You see a naked fat lady a little bit, don't put your head in a vice. It's not as good as it gets. Definitely not.
Even though, to be fair, it's Jack Nicholson playing a very curmudgeonly character, which.
I think I love this movie because he does not play Jack Nicholson in it. I think one of the only ones he's not playing Jack.
So he's not Jack Nicholson playing Jack Nicholson in a Jack Nicholson.
No, he's actually the guy.
And
Sanders got it. It is about Schmidt.
Yeah, great movie.
We are covering this movie.
Oh my God, I cannot
year.
wait for it because it's the original 2. Ugh.
Yeah. Original 1, but yeah.
Put me in, coach.
Put me in, coach. To be fair, this is, and I told you this backstage, and I will tell this live to the audience. This year, we've gone not poppy, but all the movies that are like, yes, I want to do this. Yeah.
Sanders got it.
It is
Bad
News Bears. Love this poster, by the way. We already covered this one, but you were not here. God
I know. I still think Michelle Pfeiffer should have been Catwoman in the Catwoman movie. I don't think it would have saved it, but it would have been at least better.
Well, I don't think she wanted to because she did not have a lot of fun with this one. Juliet has got it. Batman Returns. Great Christmas movie. Speaking of Steve Martin, not one of his greatest ones.
No.
It's a little bit one of those movies in the late 80s that kind of got forgotten. It's not bad. It's just not, the best. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, Griffin. That is correct. And I don't know why people get flack for this one. I mean, it's got Chris Rock in it.
It's still bad.
And a Jet Li that was told to be slower because the camera does not catch your quick punches. Lethal Weapon 4 is correct. I can't believe Lethal Weapon 5 is in the works. They're too old for that shit.
Yes, I know. This movie's really, really bad. I really hated this movie.
It's not bad, but it's long, and it becomes over redundant.
Yeah.
I like the point that they make at the end.
See,
but...
I see now. I wish they would actually do a remake called Meet Jack Black.
No. I honestly love this movie. The movie is bad. It's bad.
Do you punch in?
Yeah. Do you know who this is? The guy with the beard. Do you know who that guy is? It is not. Oh, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah,
it
Pirates.
is Roman
Yeah.
Polanski's Pirates. It is really bad, but I love it. It's the movie that made me fall in love with the whole pirate theme stuff.
Yeah. Well, the actual Cockney pirate too, not actual pirate.
No. I mean that whole era of pirates with the tricone and the R, all that stuff.
Yar me hearties, yeah.
Yes. It is Pride and Prejudice, correct, Juliet. Nice.
I actually prefer the horror version of that, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. That's an actual
whatever.
Film, by the way.
This one is it's a long shot if people know it. It's not good. It's meh. It's like a solid 5 or 6. I didn't quite like it. Didn't like the ending of it. I thought it was a bit wishy-washy. And I've only seen it, I think, only twice in my life. Robert Redford is horribly miscast in this one. No. All right, I'm gonna go because it is Spy Games. Last one.
Oh no! Let's talk about movies that are terrible miscast stuff. Emily Browning. Why get a better casting agent? Jesus. She did this after she did the children's film that was supposed to be
the only movie I know that she does not go nude in it.
Pretty much.
I'm sorry. Yes,
Yeah.
of course. It is
Sucker
the
Punch.
horrible Sucker
Yeah.
Punch. Holy shit.
Why
All right.
that film ever made? I don't understand it.
You know, this is the movie that got Zack Snyder to do Man of Steel.
Man
I'm
of
not
Steel-
even
well,
joking.
No, it got him that. It also got him, well, that, and from that he got 300. It was mostly because of the slow-mo shit. Yeah. Which he never
I
stopped
thought Sucker Punch came after. I thought Sucker Punch came after 300. You go and check it. I'm
No,
doing other things.
Sucker Punch did come after 300, but the reason why he got, it's complicated.
The reason why I got Man of Steel was those two movies, but
Yeah,
especially this one.
It's all.
I am certain of it. Anyway, okay. Let's continue. I do love. Oh, this. Can I show it? Yes, I can. It's yeah, it's hidden. It's all. It's not going to be on the screen a lot.
Almost the way that Buddy almost kind of spikes the camera, look at it like, "Oh, fuck you."
Yeah. It's actually great because in all the sort of flashbacks that they use, he's always happy. The only time he's not happy is where he's kind of is forced to reconcile the fact that his two henchmen are like, dude, they're gonna kill us. It's not said, but that's his face. And it cuts to after all that story, it cuts to him being drugged out, coked out,
to the gills.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like when we come across it, there's a scene where a song called White Clouds plays, where it shows Jeremy Piven a close up with clearly it's powdered sugar on his nose. Where he's crying and a song is playing. And it's like, because that was supposed to actually only be in the U.S. cut because it was supposed to be cut for international audiences. I'm curious if you saw that or not.
I did see it, at least on my copy. It is.
Well, did you yo-ho that one?
No.
Okay.
I've got some legit copies that I get.
No, I was just curious because I
get
know
the movie legally, Netflix, but to show it on screen.
Oh, so maybe the international Netflix has the US version then, because originally when it was the international version of the film actually had that scene cut out due to excessive drug use, quote unquote, and so the White Cloud scene was cut completely.
You know, there is such a thing as a VPN, right?
Yeah, I know.
So I can watch whatever Netflix around the world. Not all of Netflix have got them. You know, I think Mubi has got it, I think, at the moment.
Well, because mine didn't have it at all. I just happened to own it.
No, it wasn't on Netflix. It wasn't on Netflix. I'm just saying there is such an option as Netflix. But because I can use a VPN, I can watch Pluto, I can watch Roku, Mubi, Tubi. It's all there. It's free with ads, but it's free. So I want to. It's just the touch.
Yes, just like what is that? Is it? Oh, is cinnamon roll? Is roll of cinnamon?
The fact that Buddy goes completely ape shit on. Oh shit! Never mind.
That and could not even recognize Joel Edgerton at all.
Yeah,
as Hugo.
That's better. Yeah. Damn, I might have to cut something.
And I do love the actual card effects where he actually like he pulls.
Oh,
out
when
the
he
aces and right there he pulls the Joker and puts on his forehead.
And when he's like, oh, look at this, and he's like, what do you want me to look at? And he throws the ace, and the ace gets stuck inside the leather couch, which. You know how hard you have to do to actually make it done, but you know.
Is Buddy Israel Gambit? What's going on over here?
Yeah, almost. There's that moment where he's doing this and the card is in the middle and turning, and you can barely see the stuff that is in his sleeve. And I was like, oh, he came really close to actually showing the magic.
Piven actually did sessions with an actual street musician.
I bet he did. I mean, people give him a lot of flack because he basically has that Ari Gold character down to a T.
And that was the thing too. Is it was really funny too. Is at one point in time he mentions the fact that when he's on the phone with his manager, who's played by Booger from Revenge of the Nerds.
Yes.
What? What?
I thought I would bring it up, but you did, so I'm really happy.
But he mentions it like, well, I can give a come up, but I can't give up my whole entourage.
Yes. That is so weird.
I see what you did there, Carnahan. Okay.
Of course, the whole point is everybody's converging on this one spot in Lake Tahoe where Buddy's like supposed to be hiding away, but it's such an open secret. Everybody in the world knows exactly where he is.
But everyone who thinks they know that no one else has any ideas, where it's like, especially Jack Dupree, Ben Affleck's character, and his was like, we got maybe a day tops, and that's it.
Yeah.
And Jason Bateman's character is Rip. Come on.
Okay.
Because this is after, right in the middle or right after Arrested Development ended.
I think it's in the middle. He has like 7 lines or something. It's
but they're so hilarious because they're so self-deprecating. It's funny.
And the weird part is it is so implied that he's a massive furry.
Oh yeah.
That they are not even mentioning that word, but it's so obvious. When
listen, bunny head, is that yours? Put it down.
Yeah.
Put it down.
It's just so weird. This is 2006. How long has this been going on? Apparently a long time.
Oh, long time.
By the way, I have seen, but the reason I know what furries are is from a CSI Las Vegas, like the original CSI. They had a furry episode. That's where I know it from. By the way, it's from around that time.
Is it the same kind of ones where they have those like, oh my God, no, the killer actually made his own video games. It looks like it's something that was made in like Unreal Engine.
No, it wasn't about like furries wasn't about video games. It was actually having the costume on.
It's how campy and dumb it looked then.
Yes.
You know, if you watch any of those crime procedures, like, wow, who the fuck would make that game, and who the fuck would play that game? What?
Yeah. I wonder why. Anyway, we know. So Jason Bateman is supposed to be what? The lawyer?
The lawyer of the basically from the attorney's office who is defending Israel because he skipped bail.
Yeah. Okay. I got it. No, can't show that. Oh, but we do get to have that little conversation when Messner and Carruthers.
Yes.
Sorry. When Messner and Carruthers was sitting in the diner, I think it wasn't actually in Lake Tahoe. It was on the way to. And they were opening that file and they were going through that Heller story again. And this is, again, when you get it introduced, it's kind of is like wishy-washy. And this is where, if you haven't caught it back then, you'll definitely should have caught it here.
This is more of the overall information of more of the other major players as well. But the only one who actually gets to see the actual behind the whole bit, but Heller was Locke. Yes, Locke gets the emergency notice from the actual director of the FBI, and that's where we get more of the background information that kind of feeds it to it. Now this scene, I love this so much because you have the Tremors roll on in through one of like the great like good double blast beats off of Trivium's first album. I know this. I know the actual song the Tremors are listening to as they go and they back on up.
And that is the thing that kind of caught everybody off guard. And this is why I think people didn't like it when they left the theater.
Yeah,
and this is
Ben
why.
Affleck basically has 10 minutes overall of screen time, and he's also top billed, and he's dead.
That's what I mean. He was top billed, but then he kind of, and he's like offhanded dies. It's not like it's one big elaborate scene. They just roll in, look through the window, and it's dead. He's done. He's out of the movie. There's no explanation. There's no. They carry his body outside of out of the lake, but that is about it. And you're like, wait, what?
No,
but it's Ben Affleck, and it's 2006. You just killed your main guy?
Yeah.
What is going on? But this is exactly what when everybody walks into that hotel, that tension really builds up, and it builds up and it builds up and it builds up to the point where everybody just starts shooting all over the place. It's the fact that anybody can die.
Yes, in so many ways, this film reminds me very much of, it's a different kind of take on a sort of heist movie, heist in a retrospective way.
Yeah.
Bad Times at the El Royale.
Don't believe I've seen that one.
It's very, very, very good.
I just feel sorry for the makeup artist that had to write the first lines of Mein Kampf on his arm.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But do you see how Ben Affleck gave the nod to Chris Pine? Because he did that whole line, was like, "Don't worry about it. I forgive you. Heaven is nice."
And I didn't catch it when I saw it, but I just, okay, this is a stupid detail. They don't say where the Tremors are from, but they're kind of implying that they're deep south from somewhere.
No. Jack Dupree calls them white trash. It was just like a same skank mom, several dead dads. It's like, wow. All right.
So it's basically trailer trash. It could be anywhere, but
could be anywhere. Yeah,
it could be like
terrible, terrible people. Yeah.
It could be from Upper Indiana.
Nah, not Upper Indiana. Lower Southern Indiana.
Lower Indiana?
Yes. Southern Indiana.
Where's Gary, by the way? Lower Indiana?
Gary is not
it's
white
predominantly
trash.
black. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I was gonna say Gary is more hood than it would be white trash.
Speaking of hood, Alicia Keys.
Yes.
No, I'm just joking. I love Alicia Keys. My wife really loves Alicia Keys.
What's really great too is if you notice to the stinger notes, the little interlude music that's being played as Chris Pine walks over Ben Affleck's body and does the whole mouth bit. That's
Prodigy?
the same. No, that's the same musical interlude from The Good and Bad and the Ugly.
Oh, I didn't notice that at all.
It's really cool.
I was trying to listen to what Chris Pine was saying because he was slurring, but never mind. Well, very convincingly slurring. So that now this is the point where I liked this interaction. So they're going into this hotel, and you don't actually know if it's the same hotel or not. You kind of guess until it reveals itself a few minutes later. But I don't remember the other character, but it's Taraji, the name of the actor, the actress.
Her name's Charisse.
Charisse, okay.
Yeah.
So Charisse goes on this feminist tirade, and the receptionist is like,
"Listen, I'm trying to wake this bitch up."
and the receptionist is like, "What do you want me to say?"
Hey.
I'm like, I'm trying to be cordial,
listen,
but I don't want to.
I am literally the whitest girl as a receptionist at Lake Tahoe right now. So I do not have any kind of time for your energy. And listen, I know.
Nor do I want to get my ass kicked in.
Yeah, nor do I want to lose my fucking job. So I'm like, let's roll.
Yeah. And then, of course, we get to see the point of view of every single different assassin. So it starts with the couple, Alicia Keys and
with Georgia
the other girl.
and Charisse. Yeah.
We start with those two, and then we move on to I forgot Laszlo, right?
Laszlo's suit, yeah. Where he's
Laszlo's
actually
suit.
trying to get the my name is Vittori.
Yeah.
He's smoking cigarettes and chugging whiskey, and then he actually is putting cleaner down his throat to get the affectation of his voice right. And then Hugo shows up.
No, it's the smell. Everybody says that like Russians smell like alcohol and cigarettes. He wants to get that authentic smell too. It's very subtle because they don't say it.
I thought he was trying to get his vocal cords because he keeps repeating the line and getting it.
No, it's both. It's both,
Gotcha.
but also you get that authentic. Well, what people think stereotypically is the authentic smell of a Russian guy, which is booze and cigarettes.
And to be fair, Vitaly and Hugo are not doing anybody favors with any kind of their perceived misconceptions. Like,
no.
Oh yeah, what are they wearing? Both tracksuits.
Tracksuits. Again, it's all stereotypical, and you know what? Sometimes it's fine. It's not disparaging.
Sometimes it's a stereotype for a reason, and sometimes not all stereotypes are bad.
Yeah, it's just to differentiate the different characters. But I think Laszlo's plan kind of changes as soon as he sees Nikolai. It's like, oh, Hugo. Sorry, yeah. He sees Hugo. It's like, oh, that's a better target. Plus, I don't have to say anything because I can get even closer. Because he doesn't. We don't know how they know everything. But
we end up
with Laszlo being this
with Laszlo of how he gets there, but also we see the makings of his project because he's rehearsing Vitaly's voice and he's also making a mold of Vitaly's face.
Yes, but then he changes his MO and then he puts Hugo inside the mold. Oh, just great. By the way, the whole process takes a while. And hi, Penny. I've seen you. All right. So the whole conversation between Buddy and his lawyer comes up as his lawyer is being pressured by the...
It's not his lawyer. It's his manager.
Manager?
Yeah.
Who's his lawyer? Jason Bateman? No. Then who's his lawyer?
The law firm that
that's him. Right. Oh, I'm an idiot. Oh, shit. Okay. So the whole point is at this point, the manager, Booger, anyway, he's in the offices. It's like, dude, you have to come in here and we're going to have to sign this deal. What?
You have to give more information or the deal's going to be off the table.
Yeah. And this is where he has that confession on the phone, and you see his bodyguard played by the debuting Common. I didn't know he debuted in this movie, but
yeah,
obviously he did.
And then later he won an Academy Award. So
good on him. Hey, he did a good job, I believe, because
I thought he was great in the role. In fact, for Alicia Keys, being her first acting role, perfectly serviceable. It's perfectly fine.
I thought so too. I was really pleasantly surprised because, of course, when I saw it back then, I didn't quite notice. I think I remembered only the partner, the Charisse. Didn't remember Common was in this movie. Yeah. I didn't remember not Taron Egerton, the other Egerton. Anyway, I didn't remember him in this movie. So I've seen like familiar faces all around. It was like, damn, I remember why I like this movie. It's just filled with people I know doing a decently good job.
And what's interesting too is a lot of people that got their start here, or this is kind of their second or third role, or they were brought in to bring up the movie. So
yeah, and one of the things that to me was almost perfect casting or visionary casting is Nestor Carbonell?
Carbonell, as Ascota. Yeah, he's brilliant. Oh, 1 second, we just lost Meph.
Don't worry, it's just StreamYards. I didn't press any buttons or nothing.
Okay.
It just, I don't know if it reset on YouTube or something. I've no idea what happened. It just kicked me out. I didn't even press any buttons. Sorry. I was saying that Nestor and Matthew Fox was a tremendous kind of karma for them to be cast, because at the time, this was around the end of the 3rd season of Lost, they were together. And at the end of the 3rd season was probably the height of the popularity of Lost.
Yeah, they again. I already told you about this. They lost me like polar bear on an island. Fuck off.
So that's not the best pause, but it's that conversation where Nestor's character, the sort of a torturer assassin.
Oh, yeah. The man who, when he got caught, he chewed off his fingertips.
So they won't be able to recognize him anymore. Yeah. That's a better pause. And they have that conversation, and all the time was like, I kind of know what's gonna happen, but I think originally when I saw this, I kind of knew what was gonna happen just because they set him up as this brutal assassin.
Yes.
The fact that he puts a rod down his lungs and is like, okay, now you have about 20 seconds left to live. So take a deep breath.
With the way this is done, I'm thinking like, so did the Coen brothers just kind of steal this for No Old Country for Old Men, and with the way that he silently kills people? With that very like a very well, he's a Hispanic assassin, very, very dry, can walk into kind of any kind of situation and silently kill someone and leave.
This is what, 3 years removed from No Country for Old Men? 2 years. Maybe, I don't know.
Old Country was 2008. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chad, but I do believe that was 2008.
I could check later. But yeah, I thought it was really interesting that these two guys kind of get into a moment where it's kind of the opposite of what you get in Lost, but in Lost you have to go through like 4 more fucking seasons to get that.
I'm sorry, my eyes can't handle that much lens flare.
There wasn't a lot of lens flare.
Buddy, it's a J.J. Abrams joke. Just don't worry about
it. I know.
Don't worry about it. It's okay. And then you have Charisse over here with a 50 cal on the other building. It's like, wow. You know, Georgia, Alicia Keys' characters were like, you want the 50 cal? What are you trying to shoot down a plane?
Yes. And she says, I just want to make sure whatever I hit is no more. And I was like,
oh, thank you.
I think the term is pink mist, but I don't know.
Yeah. And the way they show somebody actually taking a hit from a 50 cal, where it's like,
and flies off.
No, that his torso would be half gone.
Yeah, the man would have stood in place and go like. If you hit you in the chest, it'll just erupt. Man, have you shot one of these ever before? They pack a punch.
I have before at a shooting range in Las Vegas.
Those pack a fucking wallop.
Yeah, this is why I'm wondering. Like, listen, Teresa, you're a great actress, but someone your size, I would think would be able to actually handle the recoil of shooting it multiple times.
Yeah, multiple times. I was laughing so hard. So hard.
I think she dislocated her shoulder at like shot 2. So.
I don't know which stunt woman did that or stunt man did that, but I thought it was a bit too much. Too much. But this is, of course, 2006, and the whole being
that whole,
true
like,
to
mom adrenaline kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, it is her best friend, kind of. So
Best
you
friend
could
/
say
like,
that.
come on. There was some sapphic overtones in that relationship right
I
there.
think only Charisse was thinking about it. It's the whole when they were like getting a room, so either 2 beds or 1 bed, and Charisse was like, it's 1 bed.
Well, it's also in her
and
checking
Georgia
her
was
out.
like, nah,
Let her checking her out in scope as she's.
See, I'm telling you, it
yourself
might
ready
have
for the
been just the one way, but
Yeah.
who cares? And we have the whole the whole Matrix look here. I love this. This is cinematography, like down to a T.
So Laszlo as Hugo.
Yes. It was really cinematic.
He looks down, sees the blood stain on the shirt, and then he zips up his collar. Like,
yeah.
That's great. It's great.
And when he passes the 2 guards, it goes like, "Dee, dee, dee," and he lifts his...
He actually shows his gun and is like, no, Hugo, you're fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're fine. Just go in. What do you want? So the man goes in, and then when he's in, I was waiting for him. And this is the point where, you watch a movie not 70 million times, so you know what's happening. It's like, oh, I've watched this for like at least a decade ago, at least. And I didn't remember what was going on. And I kept waiting for him to get the drop on him. And it was like, no, he needs the heart. He can't do it like, he needs to clear the room. Yeah, he needs to clear the room. But of course, it's all an elaborate scheme. He was not there to actually do the deed. It was just a different thing. And that was the overarching story. And I kind of skipped over the fact that this is the point after Locke got this big dossier with the whole information about Heller and what was going on and how it kind of is a sort of an elaborate 30, almost 4-year scheme to bring down the entire mob all together in one fell swoop.
And also, too, where, again, if you didn't get it from the beginning with the initial story that Locke tells about Heller, like, it basically just like, hey, come here. I'm going to give you all these breadcrumbs till eventually, at the end, Locke just tells Messner the truth if you couldn't put it together. I wanted to roll back just for a second because I thought...
Sure.
It was Nestor Carbonell has probably one of the best lines in the entire movie when he kills the security, the head of security there.
Yeah.
So like, don't let this face be the last thing you see. He says it in Spanish, heaven may hold it against you.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, ooh, that's a cold line to say.
It's the Ezekiel 25:17
scene where like, I just thought it was a real he just hit him motherfucker for a shot him in the face.
Exactly. And I was like, oh yeah, I know exactly what you mean. But yeah, you were wondering about what this is the scene you were talking about. This is the scene after Laszlo as Hugo goes in. The Beans is all about getting the bitches out, and he has to clean after because he pushed one of them and she broke the table. So he's the one that needs to clean it, even though.
Yes. Oh my God. It was so funny because again, the character, Beanie, he's actually in the sequel, which the sequel is actually a prequel.
Yeah.
So Smokin Aces 2 is actually a prequel of it. But he plays more of a more major character in that. And there's the whole story about how he gets involved with Buddy Israel that leads into this. But he's on the phone with it's like, oh my God. Do they have disability for you hoes? Like,
and all he wants is to get a fresh.
You guys are on sundial. I need you to be on stopwatch.
Yes. And all he wants to do is get a fresh pack of bitches. I'm sorry, a fresh pack of hoes for Buddy for the next night.
Actually, no. All Beanie wants to do is take a fucking nap because he's tired. He's like, listen, I'm tired. I'm cleaning up this shit. By the way, I can't believe what you did to his jacket.
Yeah,
not appropriate for YouTube. I'm surprised your member is not disintegrating as we speak.
Yeah, and of course he gets dispatched rather quickly. While this entire conversation, and we kind of skimmed over the fact that after Buddy was on the phone, Common's character was listening in, and this is where he confronts him,
starting to rat people out. Where it's like, so listen, this is your one opportunity. Because I've been loyal to you. I'm more loyal than any dog you'll ever come across. Now, you have one opportunity to tell me the truth right now.
Yeah. And of course, Buddy lies.
No, and Piven's pivot. Buddy Israel's entire rant about how he can twist the truth into what it means, and how essentially he says at the end, no, I'm important. I'm what matters. I'm sorry, but you don't. I love you. I didn't mean to sell you out. And then set up and payoff from the card trick where he tosses the card at Ivy in order to distract him and cut his eye.
Yeah. And
he doesn't kill him because he would have killed him.
But then we have this scene, and we said it on the onset. Once Ben Affleck's character gets killed with Peter Berg, we know no one is bulletproof. Anybody can die at any point. And Beanie is another character that were like, okay, he's okay, I guess. He gets annihilated rather quickly. Hugo gets annihilated even earlier. And you're like, oh, who else is going to die? Why not these two in the elevator where they don't actually die?
Escada doesn't die. Carruthers does.
Yes. Well, he doesn't actually die after they both shoot each other. It kind of it's delayed. Yeah, it's a little bit delayed, but you kind of get the picture. it's just.
And yes, we have the tremors. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the tremors are there.
It's still so funny that it's like, wow. Again, when you look back in retrospect, that's Chris Pine.
Yes. Exactly. I was wondering that throughout the movie. It's like, so that's how he got the role of in Star Trek. So I love the Tremors ingenuity. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Overwatch a little bit. Hold on. It's Junkrat. Kind of reminded me of Junkrat from Overwatch. So it's sort of half technical, half lucky, half something with explosives. But also kind of a Mad Maxian thing with like the evil side of the Mad Max.
You know, what's so interesting is you have that take on it, but I have the take that's a little bit different because I was thinking of characters from the Borderlands when I first watched this movie.
Kind of,
yeah.
The video game Borderlands, not the
video game
movie.
Not the movie, not the movie.
Yeah,
even though the biggest one, the biggest of the Tremors is definitely Krieg.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Krieg or
I would
Brick.
say so too. This is what I wanted. It's
so
a little bit fast forward.
So they shut down the elevators because essentially
of the essentially the shooting.
Yeah, because Carruthers he has his instincts where he actually is able to identify as Acosta by his chewed off
fingers. Yeah.
Fingers, because it was given during the debriefing that they had with Locke at the very beginning. Again, show and tell. Like it's set of payoffs. It's really, really well done.
Mm-hmm.
So then when he's asking too many questions, that's when they go after each other. Shots are fired. They shut down the elevators, and And this kid with Hollis, oh my God, I've still to this day, I never wanted to punch a child so hard in the face.
Yeah, I was trying to get the shot where it's not Hollis, it's the kid.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to show gnarly fingers. I know it's makeup, but YouTube and stuff could be a little bit weird.
Also, there's one shot where there's the dildo that has...
Oh, yeah. when the nurse comes in. Oh, excuse me.
Let me take care of that.
A little bit awkward. Yeah, I know. A little bit awkward.
Well, hey, it's a grandma who's taking care of her grandchild. Her daughter ran off, and her like her son is in prison, and the other one hung himself. Where it's like, this kid's life is ruined.
Yep, completely. But when stuff kind of goes crazy, the security that was outside of the door come in, and they see Beanie down, and they see the other Common down. It's like, oh, okay, you're down. They're just annihilating him. And then
no, they don't shoot Common. No, they call for Buddy calls for them to come in, and they basically just put him in handcuffs. They put Ivy in handcuffs, and they put
that's right.
Yeah, because that's the scene. The elevator scene is
thinking about something else. Of course, because he rescues Georgia out.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was thinking he was getting shot.
Well, it gets shot at a lot.
Yeah, well, technically, yeah. But the fact that Georgia opens up the door and she's like, oh, shit. Yeah. And then she's looking through their wallets, and they're both FBI. And she tells Charisse.
If you notice this is really great camera work and stunt work by the performer there with the slip, the penetrative like little knife that Acosta used. She has her neck right up there, but it's right there about to hit her neck, and then it retracts because it has enough to flick his wrist to push it forward. And later when he actually does try to shoot her, Carruthers shoots him in order to save Georgia.
The one thing, this is where I think we may have a difference of opinion. I actually thought he did it on purpose because it was out. And I thought he thought about it, but he didn't know how he could get out of it. So he thought, well, I might just keep her alive because whatever. I don't know what was the sort of state of mind or what was Joe thinking that character would have done. I think it was on purpose rather than...
Well, that could have actually been... That's actually a good take because he could actually utilize her as a way to get out.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And eventually it was correct, but I'm not sure he was planning on that specific turn of events.
No. Especially not getting shot several more times.
Yeah. We'll move a little bit forward.
I just said they did have that one bit in the one little interlude where as Giorgio's trying to go up the elevator beforehand, before all the shooting happened, and it opens up to the Tremors actually getting ready with that one shot. It's just like going down. I bet you are. Yeah. Hey, to be fair, there were a lot of prostitutes around the building, so
yeah,
she's dressed to be one.
Yeah. The whole sequence. There's a full-on sequence before we do our second game. There's that whole sequence of the Tremors coming up. You see the smoke coming out of the elevator. Meanwhile, Buddy is contemplating self-deletion.
Yes.
With a gun. And Laszlo kind of, methodically putting heart removal instruments, we'll call it that way, on display, sort of like he's sort of waiting for something.
Oh, that's one thing that we didn't mention was the Swede. The Swede they mentioned before was that they thought it was a hitman. The entire time it's actually just a surgeon. So
yes.
Like, he's setting up implements in order to extract the heart in order, to
Yeah. And we don't know it yet, but it seems sort of ritualistically he's waiting for Buddy to off himself so it would look like a suicide. I'm just thinking of what the director was trying to show us. That was the whole point. It's like, I know the story, I know what's going on, but I want to see what was he trying to tell us.
Preparing an anesthetic.
Yeah, I know, but he's like, where is he going with this? Because he's showing us something really specific with Buddy maybe committing suicide. The bodyguards outside looking at the smoke and not even flinching for some reason. And also Laszlo doing his thing while Messner is trying to figure out what was going on because he was rushing agents from here to there because Carruthers was not answering. And they found out that he kind of finds out from the receptionist guy, the
Ricky,
the pimple head.
Poor Ricky, dude, poor Ricky. I feel so bad for him because he kind of, this is another reason why, like, trust me, watch Bad Times at the El Royale. You'll have a lot more sympathy for Ricky because
I have
Ricky
enough
in
sympathy.
that movie is a real badass. But anyway, but he's like, well, what about the other FBI guy? What other FBI guy? And it was Acosta the whole time.
Yeah, that's the whole point, and that's where Messner kind of like, oh shit, this is happening. We need to reactivate the elevators, which promptly gets the tremors up to the floor, and everything kind of actually gets into really high gear.
So this is like the great word. This is the beginning of the third act, where it's the giant big fucking action sequence.
Yeah, and it kind of ends the whole Guy Ritchie part and starts with the Tarantino part of the movie, I guess.
Tarantino and almost, in a way, almost Eli Roth, with the way how graphic some of the violence is.
Yeah, I think so. All right, we'll play our second game of the night. It is called Screen Fighter.
Round 1, fight.
Screen Fighter is where we take two movies, pit them together, and see which one is the best one. If there's no discernible difference between the two, both of them are good, or both of them are bad, we fall into our criteria, which is Saturday evening, Friday evening, out with the boys, out with the girls, out with your significant other. Two movies in a vacuum. Which one will be poppin'? Hello, War Monkey, because this is Dallas Buyers Club, which I have seen recently, or Ray, the biopic.
Quick response to Penny. There's a lot of
for sure
with YouTube, and also some of the stuff that we show would definitely not be YouTube appropriate, and also copyright stuff. Yeah,
I could technically have a bunch of 5-second clips, but I know from other shows, I know that Nick Weiser's show shows really short clips. They get hit almost every single week. I can only show stills. And I have done for the past 4 years. And I will probably keep doing that. Sorry. I had a few clips when we did the RoboCop thing, but they were like 2 seconds. So, and it's just quippy one-liners. And it's very different from showing quippy one-liners than to see like a 7 or 8 second interaction in like quick dialogue. And again, I don't want to risk it. I want to have the show as much as, we get hit every single week from demonetization, which gets overturned 2 days later. Yeah. It's just another thing to fight that I don't want to fight. All right. Dallas Buyers Club or Ray. In the chat, please tell us your selection, and we'll consider it, I guess.
Okay. Do you want me to go?
Yeah, always.
I do think Jamie Foxx was spectacular in Ray, but other than that, they're one and done. Dallas Buyers Club, I think it's probably the best or second best ever role that Jared Leto has ever had. Probably Matthew McConaughey's one of his best roles, and definitely Jennifer Garner's best role. So I would definitely watch Dallas Buyers Club again.
I'm with you. I liked Ray as a biopic. Don't need to see it again. I don't need to see any of these two again because Dallas Buyers Club really sucks. It really sucks.
It's a very, very downer movie. There's nothing happy about the movie at all.
Plus, I know a little bit about that whole era. Yeah. I would watch Dallas Buyers Club for sure. If it's just these two in a vacuum, definitely. The Usual Suspects or Peter Jackson's King Kong. Do we really need
Kaiser Sose?
Yeah. Okay. Good Will Hunting, iconic. As Streetcar Named Desire, another iconic movie.
Look at how good Marlon Brando looks there and compare him to Dr. Moreau, buddy.
Are you aware that even in the 50s he was nuts?
Oh yeah, he was fucking off his rocker the whole goddamn time. So it has to be Good Will Hunting. I mean, Meth.
I know. It's one of my top 20. For me, it's an easy choice.
It's not your fault.
Yes, it's not my fault. The audience almost unanimously say Streetcar Named Desire. I'm not knocking the movie. It's one of Robin
Williams' best roles, so it's Good Will Hunting. Bye.
I'm not knocking the movie. And it's a really good movie, and it's worth your time.
Stella.
But I will definitely pick. No, shut up. It's a really good movie.
I know it is.
I have not seen Brother Bear. I have seen Insidious, though. Okay. Oh, great. I've seen a pirate movie. Definitely seen it. Definitely. Take your pick. I know what it is.
It's going to have to be Insidious. Even though now I kind of want them to remake the pirate movie just about the Pirate Bay.
Oh. Interesting. It's not the Ice Pirates. By the way, the Ice Pirates, I've rewatched it. Oh, so bad. It's just bad. I know people my age or older like it for the cult classic-y moments, but no way. No.
Is it worse than Time Bandits?
I would watch Time Bandits before I watch Ice Pirates.
Ooh, that's
personal thing.
Ooh, that's saying something.
Yep. Insidious it is. I kind of like Insidious. I think I definitely reviewed it on the channel. Liked it. It was a good thing. Young Guns, original Young Guns, or Resident Evil Extinction, which is the third one, I guess. And I only know that from the Japanese poster.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Is that the third? Yeah, it is the third one. Because they had after.
Does it really matter?
Yeah. Well, the only reason I would say one thing is like if Saf was here, it would be Resident Evil.
What? Saf is not here. It's Young Guns.
Yes.
I think it's the Czech poster, by the way. Czech or Polish. Donald's Dream Voice. I have seen that movie. Or Star Wars The Last Jedi.
Donald's Dream Voice because it didn't kill my childhood.
Yes. Of the two Disney movies, it is the better one. In the Line of Fire, very fitting. And To Kill a Mockingbird, very fitting too. These two have a weird connection.
Yes.
Very weird connection.
I think that's probably Gregory Peck's finest role. It's a fantastic film. But I would not sit down and watch To Kill a Mockingbird. I would not mind watching In the Line of Fire.
Interesting. Wow, I had a very different take. I would definitely watch To Kill a Mockingbird because I didn't really like In the Line of Fire.
Oh, really?
I didn't really like it. It's a solid movie. I just didn't like it. I would rather watch a good, like, solid film than watch In the Line of Fire. It just doesn't do it to me.
No, it's completely fair.
The audience is resoundingly To Kill a Mockingbird. I've not seen female. I've seen a few moments.
Oh,
well,
well,
I've seen more than half of La La Land.
Come on.
Is this a competition?
It's Holiday Road.
The Double or Star Trek 5, the worst Star Trek of the original crew?
This is the Space Whales one, right?
No, Space Whales one is The Voyage Home. This one is the Spock's brother, half-brother, where they go to the center of the universe to find God, and he's not really God.
That's right, with the fake God thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why would a God need a starship? Which was the best line in the movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
I hate the fact you're gonna have to make me say it, aren't you?
Yeah, you have to say it.
It's a Star Trek movie. Fuck you, buddy. Fuck you.
The Double is such a stupid fucking movie.
Yeah.
Admit it.
It is.
The Last Crusade, or Look Who's Talking To. I'm overruling here. It is obviously.
Okay, I have overruling on this one. Crank. That's a movie you can turn on and be like, I don't care. It's Jason Statham doing some really wild ass shit.
Overrule accepted. I'm not a fan of Crocodile Dundee. I'm just not a fan. It's not a bad movie. It's a really good movie. Yeah. I just don't like it. Final one. Primal Fear or Dumbo? Primal Fear, the one with Edward Norton, where he's maybe crazy, but not crazy, but really crazy. Not the best Richard Gere movie, by the way.
No, not at all.
Yes. Answer, damn it.
I would have to say Primal Fear because even the original Dumbo is boring. And the remake is so bad.
See, this is why I just don't watch them on purpose. There are so many movies I just avoid. I even avoid their reviews because I'm not really interested at all. Yeah. Primal Fear, I would say not my favorite movie.
The only good thing about Dumbo was the whole thing about the DTs and pink elephants.
It's of the two, it has the better animation.
I gotta go.
that joke went way off kilter. Okay, so this is where the fun begins. Now, to be honest, there's not a lot of story beats in this, so I'm just going to touch upon the story beats because from this moment on, it's almost balls to the wall action. So I'm going to touch upon one thing that really was funny to me is the tremors. They set up the tremors right away as completely crazy.
Well, they called them, as Jack called them, speed freak neo-Nazis. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Which is in a way, kind of makes sense. I mean,
anyway,
pretty apt description.
But first, we get to see the FBI agent kind of converging on the whole Estrada and Carruthers, with Georgia in the elevator.
Wait, did you say Estrada?
Did I say Estrada? Like Eric Estrada.
I was going to say the guy from Chips was not in this.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry. So, Nestor, the actor, I don't know that I'm sorry. Okay, please leave me alone. So Georgia is stuck with the assassin and the FBI agent, and all the FBI agents, including Messner, are converging on that spot. And Georgia cannot communicate with Charisse. So Charisse goes rogue and completely annihilates that whole corridor.
Well, this is before then, because she still actually has him in. Well, she still has her in her earpiece, was to like light him up. That's where the first couple shots, Then when Georgia ends up getting hit, that's when they lose communication. When she sees one of the hookers that are lying down, she thinks that it's Georgia. That's when she goes ballistic.
Yeah. But at that point, I can't really show blood so much, but yeah. So at that point, this is after Charisse kind of sees everybody after her body gets killed, because that's not Mesner's blood. That's somebody else's blood on him. And then he gets like side ricochet hit, and then he gets hit for real.
Yes. Okay. Right there.
Yeah.
That shot that you had right there. Okay. So that side.
You can see the shots down below.
Yeah, I know. But that side.
I forgot. Admins can see it. Sorry.
Yes. So with that, later on, when he has the conversation with Locke, you can actually see that Ryan Reynolds is wearing a contact lens. That's bloodshot.
Okay.
Side. It's the same contact lenses that he had in the Amityville Horror.
Interesting. The same exact one?
Yep.
Okay. You can see me jumping about. You see how hard it is to get
later.
that
Later on, when they have the confrontation between Locke and Mesner, you can actually see his face closely. Like you can see his right eye, and it's like half bloodshot on one bit. It's from the end of the horror. Yeah. So tying into Ryan Reynolds not playing Ryan Reynolds in the Ryan Reynolds movie.
I know. That's why I was saying he's the closest to what we're describing at the very beginning of the movie, and later on, it's just he is Mesner rather than Ryan.
Yep.
So that whole bit where Common with the handcuffs kind of shoots one of the tremors, the one that's on screen is getting annoyed. Instead of firing the gun, he's like, "Fuck this gun! I'm gonna use a chainsaw to kill you."
And the one thing that I thought of as a movie that we just reviewed recently that it made me actually laugh out loud.
I thought of the same thing. Go ahead.
Mandy.
Yeah, I was thinking of Mandy. The same thing happened in Mandy too. Now I don't know if it's the same sort of inspiration. It's so hard to get through. Never mind. Can I show this? So he sits on it.
Half a shot. Yeah.
He sits on the open chainsaw after,
and it's
for some reason. Yeah. Even though the magazine was done, so he quickly got another magazine from the dead security guy, while the big dude was trying to chainsaw the chandelier.
Like,
you had a gun, you could just click and shot him, sort of like in Austin Powers. I'm gonna go to my room. We're gonna gun. We're gonna shoot him, and then it's over.
Scott, that's not how this works.
Exactly.
Laser sharks.
Yeah. You just mentioned it, the fact that Charisse just sees these FBI agents and she thinks it's Georgia dead, even though it's one of the other hosts.
Yeah.
And the thing I didn't understand is Charisse moved to a different room to get a different vantage point. I got that.
Yeah.
Thank you. I got that.
Hit tab by accident. Sorry.
Fine. The whole point is she was shooting at them, at the FBI agents. The FBI agents were shooting just out. Do you understand that guns do not travel that far?
That's the one thing that made me fucking furious. One dude had a shotgun. Where am I? What do you think you're?
Like basic gun ballistics.
Just by your basic ballistic knowledge that you had from going through not only just basic police training, but also your definite in-depth knowledge at Quantico, you would know that something that would deal that big of a wound, it has to be of a higher caliber, which means that they are not in the room with you, which means that you are not doing shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Suppressing fire. What?
I did not understand that whole scene, other than it's really cool to shoot at guns back.
That's what I was thinking. That's what Joe had to be thinking when he shot. It was like, I don't know, just make him shoot a whole bunch of guns.
Yeah, it's just to add to the chaos. Because it really is a very chaotic scene. The tremors, the FBI agents, Charisse, all that mix was super chaotic. And within all that craziness is them hitting on each other.
If for some odd reason, you know what the first thing I thought of when I saw this for the first time? Even though I do not like the game series, I think it's very overwrought. I think Kojima's terrible. Metal Gear Solid. Sometimes love can bloom on a battlefield. It's from Metal Gear Solid.
I know. I haven't played Metal Gear Solid, but I've seen Mike play it on stream, like all the games. So I know what's going on. Yeah.
If anyone tells me they can make sense of that story, tell you what,
it doesn't make sense.
They're full of shit.
It doesn't make sense. To be fair, it doesn't make sense. Had a great ending though, kind of. Before they went to 5. Okay, put that away. No more Metal Gear Solid talk in this show. This scene was the best scene, I think.
Oh, it's well acted.
And it's sort of that realization of Messner is like, I need to get Buddy, and these two don't really matter in the big scheme of things. So I'll put down my gun. You'll put down your gun. She says it, not him.
Because it was Georgia that was one time like, and also, I'm sorry about your friend. I had nothing to do with that. And to be fair, she didn't.
She didn't
at all.
She didn't.
In fact, Carruthers saved her life before. So
I think I can show this, right? When he walks into that lobby and he sees all the dead bodies, especially the guy sitting on the chainsaw.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a little bit much. By the way, you could have seen the bloodied contact when he was pointing the gun at Georgia and Common. Was it
Ivy?
Ace? Ivy. See? Me and names. But then the truth...
Well, the reason why it's called Smokin Aces is because it was Buddy Aces Israel.
Yeah, I know. There's a few things that are like to wrap up this, because it's a big chaotic scene, lots of action, lots of stuff going on. And then you have sort of the resolution of each and every single one of these people, because they kind of caught Laszlo, but he gets away. It seems like he's going to kill somebody, but he sort of gets away rather smoothly.
Because he's getting handcuffed, but he pulls a gun, and then he rips the Hugo mask off, and he pretends to be Vitaly then.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what Vitaly looks like. They're like, oh, it's just the butler. It's just the butler.
Yeah, and there's a shot of that surgeon we talked about where
the Swede,
they kind of hint to the fact that this is the Swede, but nobody knows what kind of assassin he is. And then we get the discovery that the whole point of the transplant and the heart and all that stuff, and all the heart thing kind of reveals itself within. Oh, it's all a big ruse. So Laszlo gets away. Our boy Chris Pine gets away because he has the fake FBI badge that the other assassin had.
And he barely gets away from getting killed by Georgia.
Yeah, as well. Charisse, before she got shot by an entire battalion of FBI agents, sees that Georgia steps out with Ivy to the street, and then of course you hear the gunshots blaring off. So Charisse is dead too.
Pretty much clear that. And then we do get Darwin, who is Chris Pine's character, on top of the roof, where we get that good cathartic moment with Hollis, which was one of Jack's guys, the guy who got his fingers blown off and had the kid who still has the most punchable face.
Yeah.
Because he ends up taking the gun from the grandma to go back there to find him. And it's like, oh, so you're FBI, huh? I was like, oh, no. It's like, okay, jigs up. All right. Well, I love how he walks over and puts it on his one remaining index finger.
Yeah,
like, I'm real sorry about that.
I laughed so hard. Yeah, I'm really sorry. And he goes away, and Hollis is like, "Yeah, fuck it,
fuck it," and he just shoots him.
And it's really satisfying and comical at the same time, and this is what this movie is all about.
It's black comedy.
It's super dark humor. And it's really well executed.
Definitely.
Literally and figuratively. And then, of course, you got that big reveal of Buddy being his
Messner
son.
Messner at the hospital with Locke, and then them having their confrontation. And essentially, Locke just tells him the entire bit, where it even goes back to, there was a setup and payout before where Messner had mentioned the fact that he even had a child.
Yes, he does mention it, but it's so brief, and you're caught into the moment of wait a minute,
that to boot. Yeah, so it's like so this is all just setups and payoffs throughout the film. That's why also when you said like, I don't remember watching this, I'm like, buddy, this is literally right up your alley.
Yeah, I know. And it was, we talked about it. It started like 2 years ago. And yeah, it's like, as soon as I watched this 2 years ago, it's like, dude, of course. And like rewatching it, I think I rewatched it yesterday or the day before that. I was like, yes, it kind of falls into place with everything that I kind of like with how they do storytelling, especially the dialogue. The dialogue is fantastic. Mm-hmm. It's just the fact that I kind of caught the whole overarching story right from the whole Heller is Sparta thing. It's like either I knew it from the in the back of my mind, or I kind of caught it. I think I caught it early. Well, even on the first viewing, I caught it early.
It's very
annoying.
Very much a Chekhov's gun sort of scenario where it's a very, very easy tell, which it does kind of make you feel a little bit annoyed, especially after like if you've watched it the first time, where like, I know exactly where this is going. So with Messner being so upset, where I'm like, you should have been able to see this coming from a mile away.
I think so too, because Messner and
you're in
Carruthers
the FBI.
too.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Messner and Carruthers are set up to be pretty smart people. They're not like dumb agents.
Yeah.
They go back and forth in that van, but it's sort of like a friendly banter kind of a thing. They're ribbing each other, but they're pretty on point with sort of analyzing that call, which is, to be honest, not that crazy, but the fact that they're there for 13 or 16 hours already,
16 hours. Yeah.
And they're already ready to quit basically, but they're still on ball with this. When he has that conversation with Locke is like, so do you want to end your career, or do you want to like put it in the back of your mind and do what we do in the bureau and just bring down the entire mob? Take your pick. And to be fair,
and Messner actually has a really great point too. It's like, how do we know this is not just bullshit? This doesn't, like, it means nothing. Like, we don't, but we have to take that risk.
Yeah. And to be fair, he just ends it right there and then, because he unplugs both
Sticks
of
to
them.
his guns. He locks the surgery suite, unplugs them both, takes his gun out, takes one out of the chamber, puts his badge and everything on the floor, and just it's back.
It's over. I would say a satisfying ending to what the whole movie got us kind of set up is the fact that, yeah, there's only a few people in this movie that are honestly good. Basically, Mesner and Carruthers. All the other ones are pretty bad, including Locke. Locke. Maybe not the Swede. Swede is like sort of.
Well, I would say the Swede is fine because he's just a heart surgeon and he's just performing a surgery.
Yeah, he's just a jobber.
He's actually
basically
being asked by the U.S. government to come in to perform a surgery. He may not even know the backstory of why it's being done. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But
overall,
the Swede is just like most people. Like I like to think of Switzerland during 1942. What
not
was
really.
That noise? What was that noise?
What's that noise? The whole point is he's being set up as a sort of a MacGuffin, but it turns out to be not really a MacGuffin, which is, these days quite of a clever way of masking that overarching theme that is going on, the whole, Heller Sparta kind of a thing. But not really, because it's not masking that story. It's just another facet of, wait a minute, there's another really big assassin that we haven't even heard of that is going to come in and destroy everybody.
No one's heard of the Swede. Why? Because no one's ever caught him before.
Yeah, because he's not really an assassin. Anyway, absolutely love this movie. Was really pumped of actually talking to you about it because it's a fun movie. Like I said, it's a Guy Ritchie movie for about 2 acts, and then it becomes like a Tarantino movie at the last act.
Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah, Robert Rodriguez. Yeah, that's sort of a hyper-violent, super action-y, stupid violent, I would say, and with a lot of dark humor that carries through all 3 acts. All of it. And again, a little bit of misdirection when it comes to, or miscommunication. I don't know if it's a misdirection or miscommunication between the director and the PR that are in charge of pushing the movie, top billing Ben Affleck. Maybe it's intentional, maybe not.
Well, I think it was done specifically because he was the draw at the time. He was the only draw that was really in the cast. Because again, Chris Pine was one of his first roles. Ryan Reynolds had been in a couple movies, but this is like, he's not Ryan Reynolds even in the mid 2010s back then.
Andy Garcia is not even on the poster, but he's like the biggest. Even him and Ray Liotta are the biggest actors there.
Yeah.
Really strange. And like they kind of hit the nail on the head when it comes to the casting. I think Alicia Keys, we mentioned that, did a fine job. Common did a really good job.
Yeah, he was great.
And I don't know, each played to his strengths. Jason Bateman did his own Jason Bateman things. Yeah. Kind of expected, but with extra like herpes on his face and a weird bunny head.
And then also later you got to see him in lingerie, which I was like, oh no, I don't want to see that.
Anyway, a really good movie. One tidbit that we really haven't mentioned is the guy playing Sparsa is Joseph Raskin. That was his actual last movie. Cool. He died about 6-7 years later, I think. But that was his actual last movie. But he didn't do much. No. To be fair. He was just laying there. But yeah, not highly recommended. I would recommend you watch this movie, especially if you do like a good Guy Ritchie movie. Definitely, you should watch this.
This is definitely
feels strange.
that whenever it would come up on Screen Fighter, this is one of like, oh, it's an instant Smoking Aces, because you just turn it on and watch them like, I remember this beat. That's funny. Wait for it. There it is.
It's a lot of fun. I would say it's a lot of fun, and there's too many superlatives. So we'll end the show here. And this kind of brings us to the end of this rather fun month. Like I said, in the list, down the list, we kind of mentioned Bad News Bears. I'm not sure it's on the list. I think a different movie made it on the list, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Not Bad News Bears. I kind of jolt my memory. It's a different movie, but it's in the same veins of, you could kind of guess if you're an old head like us.
Now, was it one or two? I can't remember.
I think the first one.
I think we went.
We settled on the first one.
Yeah.
But never mind. Anyway, that's a different month.
You'll
Down
find
the
out
line.
that in a couple of months.
but the whole year's filled with a more recognizable movies, I would say, but not necessarily poppy movies. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be shaping up to be a very, very interesting and fun year, because I'm really excited on almost every single month. So next month, Rock and Rolla, we did Rock and Rolla, Sander. You were here in the chat.
We did. And actually, Paul, lucky number 11 was actually in the running for this month, because I really still want to talk about that movie. That movie's really, really good.
I think it's, again, one of those movies that we kind of mentioned, not really in I don't remember it coming up in Screen Fighter, but you did mention it before. Yeah. It's so yeah, and Sander, if you want to rewatch Rock and Rolla, go watch it. It's fantastic. The episode, I mean. Barbarella, no, not really, but maybe. So this kind of brings us to the end of this month, and next month is going to be a fun one, because it is Robert Zemeckis month. Now, we would have put on Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but we already did that in episode 7.
Almost 4 years ago.
Almost 4 years ago. So next week, we're going to cover something that is getting a remake. It is Death Becomes Her.
It's her. Yeah.
Now, the Meryl Streep role went to Anne Hathaway, which is a weird thing, because Anne Hathaway played Meryl Streep's underling in The Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah.
Contact is on the list, so we're going to cover that too. So next week, it's not Contact. It is Death Becomes Her, Meryl Streep, Goldie Hawn, Bruce Willis, and Isabella Rossellini. Yeah. So go watch that movie. I think it's on.
And actually, if we're talking about the other, we talk about Isabella Rossellini. This might not be the only film starring her that we reviewed this year.
Oh, yes. Yes, yeah. We have plans within plans. Yeah. All right. No, not the Bipolar Express.
I cannot
Holy
look
shit.
at creepy Tom Hanks. I will literally lose my mind.
You're going to have to be here every week to know, or just watch the replay. Anyway, we're going to move all of you. I think we're redirecting. I'm not sure. Let me check. Let me be a good bro and redirect you to Pop Culture Minefield. I think I haven't set it up. Bad Meffy. No, I haven't. See? I'm an idiot. Let me see. There we go. We'll set up the redirect to Pop Culture Minefield, because they are covering Nosferatu from 1979. That's the first remake.
Yeah,
so
it's not very good.
No comment. Anyway, guys, remember, hope is a good thing, maybe even the best of things, and no good thing ever dies. We'll see you next week. You're still here? It's over. Go home.